Hi guys, Jimmy here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a bowl pipe and mouthpiece out of some scrap wood. This is red gum, and then I'm not sure what this is, but this is a hardwood as well. Hardwoods will work the best for making your pipe. If you've got tools laying around like this bandsaw here and the lathe over there, the process should be pretty easy, but if you don't, you can always improvise. The thing we want to do is, well, with this bit, it is good, but it's wider than it needs to be, so we'll just split it down the middle, and then this will just cut a piece with a mouthpiece that will spin on the lathe, so maybe like that. You just want it to be square. So the next thing you want to do is grab a tap, and then you want to put the taps on so it can fit onto the lathe. Now that we've tapped the little dents in, and this is pretty bad, but it doesn't really matter because as long as it's close to the center, once you get away the excess, it should come good anyway. We've stuck the piece on like that. Make sure it's tight because when it comes loose it's not good, so make sure all the parts are tight. And then just turn away that side and that side. Keep in mind though, when you do the top part slash the bowl, you'll need to keep it as big as possible because the bowl part will need to be big enough for whatever you're putting in that. Whereas this part, the mouthpiece, you can make it thin enough to where you'll have a couple of mils in the wall when you drill it out. We've wood turned both sides. Now, you can get more try and get it better than that, but I don't really care because I usually finish off with a file if I'm doing this type of one, and that's the mouthpiece because it's obviously longer. And you can see how I've tried to keep it as thick as possible. I think I could make a decent bowl still out of that. Now, it's not the smoothest, but we can always touch it up with some sandpaper as we do the edges. Yeah. Keep in mind though, if it's got a couple cracks like this one has there, I probably wouldn't put too much effort into it because sometimes they do tend to break as you put some effort into it, and then, yeah. But if you do heaps of them and you get the hang of it, then you get used to it. Next step is, while I've got it kind of square, I'm just going to drill some holes and try and get it as accurate as possible, and then get rid of the rough edges on the grinder thing, and then just finish the rest off with a file and some sandpaper. As I was mentioning before about the crack, it could snap, and this, as you can see, it obviously just did, but that's okay because it's still got it's still able to go on the lathe, so we can turn it into just a rod piece and still make a bowl of it. After you've drilled and finished it off, it's time to do the bowl. Now I will get rid of that, but the rest of it's smooth, so I'll either sandpaper that or I don't know. But you wanna use a drill bit, because I find that when you use a flushed drill bit, it doesn't really work that well, and it kind of burns it and it looks kind of ugly. Whereas if you use this, it looks a lot more clean, like it just looks better. And also it's just better in general. With the hole, you don't want it any bigger than that, because otherwise it's just too big, and it's wood, so there's no piece, otherwise you'd have to put a metal piece in there to restrict what's going through it. But just a smaller hole does it. Not too small, but something big enough that it will fit in the drill bit comfortably, but nothing bigger than that though, and that's the drill bit there. Start to see why I mean have a smaller hole, because it's actually quite big, and if you're putting anything in there, it's just going to go straight through into your mouth, and it's just going to be gross. So a small hole really acts as a filter. So and you can always put a filter in these, but I haven't. Next thing you want to do if you're making the two pieces is make the mouthpiece, and it's just a simple block of wood, hardwood preferably, so it doesn't really burn easy and won't be harsh. Anyway, before you put it on the lathe, I'd recommend drilling a hole in it, because if you put it on the lathe first, you might put heaps of effort into it, but as soon as you drill it, you might stuff up the drill thing, and then you've just wasted your time on it. So if you drill it now and it stuffs up, you can just chuck it away and grab a new one, because you don't want to be wasting your time and then have to throw it away. You've drilled the hole, you should be able to see through it like that, and even just blow through it as well. And I think that's pretty good, so I'm going to stick it on the lathe now and just finish it up. And once you've done this, you want to make sure that you've got them two lining up, because you're going to have a bit that can stick into there, or you could have it the other way around, but either way they've got to connect, so the outside's got to be flush, but then you also got to have a little bit inside that will fit into either one of the holes. So as you can see now, I chose this side to put, that's the joint right there, and it's just going to go inside of the mouthpiece, and that's the piece of wood that we drilled before. I'll just go like that. So now I need to drill a hole there, the same size as or diameter as that joint at the end, and I found a drill bit the same size, so I'm just going to drill in there, get rid of that, and then stick it together and then sand it. Okay, now I've drilled the hole in there. It's not bad, it's a bit off center, but we can fix that, and I'll show you how. Okay, so the way we're going to get rid of this is we'll simply just turn this on, and then we'll just scrape away that until both sides sit flush. Guys, it's pretty ugly, but that's basically it. You don't need no glue, because if you've got a tight fit like this one, it should work fine. Yeah.